Hey y'all, Star here. I hope you guys like improv because a good chunk of this video is going to be unscripted, so enjoy me stuttering. Okay, so I normally don't make these type of Vyaskibum type vids where I take a recent or niche topic and dedicate like 5 or so minutes saying, yep, Moana 2 is happening for some reason, or yes, the Knuckles trailer does look fucking cool, or Mario's new voice actor is. But this one in particular is important to me. You know why? Wanna know why? I'll tell you. Lumity is back, yeah! And more importantly, my two favorite dipshits have finally returned.
What is this shit?
Oh. Okay, I guess Disney Twitter still wants them dead. For the sake of context, let me ask you a simple question, alright? Have you heard of Disney's Chibiverse? For those who don't, which I'm not gonna lie is probably a lot of you who are above the age of 6 or 8, Chibiverse is a short-form crossover series by Disney Television Animation, featuring cutesy versions of all your favorite Disney Channel characters from various popular and at the time currently airing shows. Stuff like Big City Greens, The Ghost and Molly McGee, Amphibia, etc. All of which live in a genetically constructed world from a Disney laboratory, that's what it's called, where various pieces of Disney television iconography are thrown into a machine that creates a mishmash of set pieces that would make the Starverse's finale jealous. I'm deeply sorry for making that joke in front of you. You probably are unsubscribing to me as we speak. The show is technically based on the As Told by Chibi shorts on YouTube that either recap the plot of an existing property or create a new story with the properties like crossovers, which in of itself is also a follow-up from the Chibi shorts based on that ill-fated Big Hero 6 show that Razorblade did videos on, which is bullshit because that should have been me. Full disclosure, I have never seen the Big Hero 6 TV show and I don't know if I should. Chibiverse is sort of like a spiritual sequel to Disney's House of Mouse, where Mickey Mouse hosts a show that plays various classic cartoons for many of your favorite Disney animated characters from the canon, which for some reason doesn't include TV shows. It's not exactly much of a secret that Disney doesn't often acknowledge their TV shows on the same level as something like their classic animation division or Pixar or Marvel or Ice Age, hopefully not. But anyways, a lot of these shorts from Chibiverse follow about the same formula as you'd expect. 2 or more of your favorite characters host a show that plays a random Chibi short that often relates to whatever the main plot is. And then we get more of the characters interacting and dealing with stuff, which is often interrupted with more shorts, then back to the crossover, then back to the shorts, rinse and repeat. Of course, if you don't care enough about watching these shorts you would already need to watch separately on YouTube, the crossover part of the show is the highlight if you're a Disney TVA fan, and let's be honest, it's the only excuse you have to watch a show that has an episode where Cricket Green lays a baby duck version of himself. I feel like I'm gonna be put on a list for saying that. FBI, open up! Easily the best part of the whole show is just hearing the original voices reprise their role for their respective characters, and it's just really satisfying just seeing them talk with one another, like how Phineas and Ferb casually know who Luce is, or that one episode where Scratch name drops Marco, which, by the way, that part made me clap, because Star references make my brain go burr. Otherwise, it's still a harmless little show for kids and fans, if not a little bit wasted on the potential, and isn't really that interesting to talk about. However, this is where we get into the real meat and potatoes of the video. The most recent episode of the show, the Chibi Couple Game, is a Valentine's Day special because of course it is. And when this was announced, this sort of gave me a lot of feelings that I never would have felt for a Chibiverse short before. That being cautious optimism and maybe hope that one day this will be the time they come back. And they did. I made a funny little speculation that judging by the title of the episode, it would feature my 2 favorite dipshits, Star and Marco, returning for the first time since 5 years ago. What the fuck? Time, can you stop running that fast? Like, come on, I'm getting old. And yeah, I was kinda right. 2 iconic duos from 2 completely different Disney Channel shows that totally haven't been compared to before have made their triumphant return, including Lumity and Starco. Lumity is probably gonna be the most hyped up part of the episode, and the other ship, well, let's just say that people's reaction to this decision was about the same reaction that child me would have had at this specific Disney logo. With the internet being the internet, people got a little bit pissed off at the fact that Starco was yet again being acknowledged as a couple, especially knowing how badly they were handled in the last couple of seasons, and Yeah, you know what? I can kinda understand why. I'll admit that I'm not the biggest fan of how the show essentially dragged out the whole will they won't they bullshit for the last couple of seasons, only for it to be blatantly obvious they were gonna end up together anyway, and I do prefer them as a friendship and a dynamic duo if anything. However, it didn't really matter to me that they were being acknowledged as a couple, even though I could have sworn they were also considered best friends in that one episode, but who cares? All that matters to me is that they are back. We are so fucking back, Star Nation. And you want to know the best part of this whole thing is that the original voices for Star and Marco returned to reprise their roles for the first time since 2019. And as you can imagine, it is peak. Now, if you don't believe me, let me just show you my gorilla style camera recording of my reaction. Okay, let's do this. Hearing their voices is enough to make a grown man cry. And that's funny because I'm not even crying. And now, since I finally got a taste of the Chibi couple game, I will wholeheartedly say that this episode is the very best episode that Chibiverse has to offer. For like a minute and a half. The rest is a standard episode of the series with reused chibi shorts and some exclusive ones for variety, which I guess is an improvement over season 1. Yes, this is season 2 and the first one had like 4 episodes. And the shorts themselves are admittedly cute. They are based on Camp Rock and Haley's on It, which I haven't actually seen. But aside from the obvious highlights, there's still not much to the episode at all. But that being said, that 1 minute and a half, yeah, peak fiction. Although I wish we would have got to see more of Starco and Lumity interacting, shockingly enough. The episode gave me the assumption that this would just be about the two ships competing on which one is the best. And I can already sense a bunch of you looking at me asking the question, do I really need to watch this episode to know that Lumity is gonna win? And to that I say, yeah, you kinda do, because they also introduce a third couple to the game, in which is more of the Haley's on It representation, and it just gets turned into this running gag where all the chibis try to tease them into being a couple, and it's like, we're not a couple! Sure you're not! Shut up, bitch! I guess their screen time is fine, but maybe it's because I haven't seen the show they're from, and I guess that's the gist of it, where they are friends, but they don't want to be a couple. She my best friend, yeah, we not a couple. I feel like even if I had seen Haley's on It, I'd still think this joke was kinda lame and they put way too much emphasis on it than it should. And by the end of it, Haley and Scott end up losing the couple game and the winners end up being Starco. But also Lumity wins too, so thankfully none of the fandoms have to kill each other. Because the moral of the story is that the winners of the Chibi couple game isn't just them, but the love they've shared along the way. Also, I'm gonna be straight up, 90% of you probably only clicked this episode just to see more of Lumity, and yeah, you guys did not hold back. You guys ate that shit up quick, and it's kinda deserved. Lumity is just as wholesome as they've ever been before, and yes, we even get our first official kiss from Hunter and Willow, or more specifically Willow, and it's kind of shocking to me that it somehow took an entire episode of Chibiverse of all things instead of the show it came from to finally get the kiss we've been waiting for next to Lumity, and yeah, it's pretty wholesome. It's very, very cute. I love it. I kind of love it. As with everything else, actually. All the screen time featuring Star and Marco is infinitely way better than the entirety of Starverse's Season 4, and I also like this little crowd shot in the end where we get to see other Disney Channel couples. Look at this. We got the two gay ghosts from Molly McGee. We got the Fishhooks characters played by actors I shall not name. We got Molliver, Sprig, and that one character, I don't know, I haven't actually seen it. And oh, look at that, the fucking baby duck crickets that, yeah, that they got, they're a couple, I guess. And wait, who are these two? Is this like a DuckTales reference or something? Or I don't recognize this. I need to watch more shows. I am an uncultured swine. Unfortunately, if you're an Ida extant shipper, then you're not gonna get much luck here. And yeah, that's the episode. It's a very cute episode and is probably my favorite of Chibiverse. Is it because of the Starco and Lumity representation? Yeah, very cute episode overall, even though it isn't really much to talk about. Did I seriously just write half a script's worth of words and improv just for me to make a video about my favorite characters appearing in an episode for like a minute and a half? To that I'd say yes. I'm a 20-year-old man making these decisions, by the way. I suppose that contributes to how much I like Starverses, regardless of its issues, and how I'm willing to take pretty much any crumb of the bread they give me for it, i.e. this episode. It's just refreshing to finally hear the voices for Star and Marco return after so long, and the same can also be said for Luce and Amity too, even if their appearance is brief. I hope those Starco complaints on Twitter were worth it, guys. Wait. What do you mean Mae Whitman didn't reprise her role as Amity? Where was she? Oh. Starverse is the forces of evil will most likely never leave my consciousness for as long as I live. No matter how many times you probably want it to. And I think I'll keep it that way, honestly. No, I'm not gonna stop, because if I stop, I'm gonna die. And I suppose that's where I'm gonna leave the video off. I was gonna go on for a little longer, but I've probably wasted about 10 minutes of your life instead of 5 minutes talking about a cameo appearance in a cartoon show for babies. So to prevent that, that's how I'm gonna end the video, I guess. The entire Chibiverse show is on YouTube for free if you want to watch it for specific reasons like I did. And yeah, that is all. Except for one other thing. Disney, can you please do a soft reboot movie for this show? That has so much potential. It'd be in the Spider-Verse style and it'd be all comedic and all Puss in Boots The Last Wish or some shit. See, look, this guy gets it.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.